Hi everyone, welcome back to David at Go to Hobbies. Right, I want to talk to you about building a side gate or a garden gate. Excuse me. First of all, right, how big do you want your gate? You got to ask yourself. If you want something like about 3 foot high, or do you want a proper side gate about 6 foot high? Yeah. Are you good at DIY? Okay, let's say you're competent. Yeah. Now, we're going to talk you through what you need to get, what tools you're going to need to have, and things you need to watch out for. And the biggest problem you will face is your own competence. It ain't going to take a lot to get it right. You can do it, I can do it, I've done it, I've made one. Right, I made two. So, some of the things you will need is hinges, but there's special gate hinges. They're about that long, and they go from one end with a screw hole, and they come out, open up like that, and they've got the hinge on the end. The gate hinges, yeah? Go into any good DIY shop and you'll see them. Let me just draw a picture of them for you, so I'll show you what they look like. Something like that, right? Obviously, this bit down here, this bit, that bit there, that's the hinge. You'll have screw holes there, so you screw that to the main frame, and then you screw that to the gate. Right? That's the first thing. And the other things you're going to need is something like 40mm screws, electric drill, a rechargeable one at that. The reason why I say a rechargeable drill is because you've got better control over the torque and the speed of the drill. If you have an electric drill, it goes woo, and then all of a sudden your screws through the other side of the wood, and it's no good for when you're building something. You need something with fine control, a little handheld rechargeable drill. All right. Other little things you're going to need: hammer, a wood saw, and the wood saw will act as a square. And if you don't know what a square is, it is a right angle cutting. So where you've got a bit of metal or a bit of wood, it comes along, goes up, that's a 90-degree bend, and that sets a straight line across your wood for cutting. A pencil, preferably a carpenter's pencil. If not, use a biro. Better than a pencil, otherwise the pencil end will break. Right. A candle, because when you cut your wood, the wax of the candle, if you rub it on your saw blade, yeah, will stop the saw snagging on the wood. In other words, it'll be easier for you to cut. Alright, now the other thing is you're going to need obviously screws, you're going to need a tape measure, you're going to need a spirit level to get that post, that 4x2 bit of wood that you're using for what your hinges are screwing into onto your wall. It depends if you're screwing into a brick work or you're screwing into wood. Obviously, if you're screwing into wood, all you're going to do is either attach the hinge to the wood, but ideally you want to do is put a 4x2 up against your other wood, so you've got somewhere so that when the hinge, it's sort of, how do I describe it? It depends which way you want the gate to open, yeah? If you want it to open to the left, you put your hinges in a certain position. If you want it to open to the right, you put the hinges on the other side. Fairly straightforward, but if you don't know how to do it, leave a comment down below. Right, before we dive deep into this rabbit hole about building a side gate, who or any of you want some more advice on what size wood and stuff like that. How much competence have you got? What questions do you have? If you leave me the questions below, the comments, yeah, I'll do my best to answer them. Otherwise, I will muddle on. Okay? So, is there anything else? In the next video, we'll give you a list of what you need to buy. Alright? And then, from that, you will basically have somewhere flat to make it, dry, out the way of the wife's washing, or the fish pond, because the sawdust will go everywhere, including all over the wife's washing, and you will not be flavour of the month. So, and a word of advice, don't do it on a windy day, and don't even do it if it's going to rain. Electric drills don't like rain. Alright, so moving forward, this bit is just an introduction of making that garden fence. I made one previously, but when I get home, because I'm driving, I'm not in out this week. At the weekend, I'll make I'll show you what I've done and tell you some more details. But if you watch the videos, yeah, then you'll understand the basic principle of making a garden gate. Again, any questions, please leave them below. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next video.